Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
So today is
afternoon.
a case presentation, and for me, it was an evaluation of primary infertility. It was a couple, both of them aged 32 years, married to a non-consanguineous marriage, and with a duration of 4 years, came with complaints of anxious to conceive for the past 4 years. Next, the female partner history, menstrual history, attained menarche at the age of 13 years. It's a 4 by 20-day cycle, regular cycle, normal flow with no dysmenorrhea. Sexual history, uh, the couple has a regular coitus and no history of dyspareunia and no history of any contraception usage. Past medical history, patient is a known case of hypothyroid on Thyronorm 75 microgram. And she gives a history of taking ATT for 6 months for genital tuberculosis. Past surgical history, she underwent a diagnostic histolaparoscopy. And her occupation, she's a software professional. With her personal history, there's nothing significant about it. She doesn't have any habits. And a family history, her mother attained age of menopause was 52 years, and there was no other infertility issues in the family. Treatment history, uh, she underwent a diagnostic histolaparoscopy, and the findings were as follows. Her fallopian tube showed hydrosalpinx, which was a bilateral hydrosalpinx, and a bilateral salpingectomy was done for the same. The fimbriae showed caseous deposit and it was sent for histopathological examination, and it has come to be a tubercular salpingitis. The ovaries were buried in additions, and additionalysis was done. Endometrium, again, a TB PCR was done, and it showed no MTB was detected. The male partner history, he is a software professional. Her sexual history, there's no history of any erectile dysfunction or ejaculatory dysfunction. His past medical history, there's nothing significant of medical or surgical history. And personal history, again, it's nothing significant. He doesn't give a history of any alcohol smoking or any history of any drug intake. General examination for the female, she falls into the normal BMI category, and her thyroid and breast examination clinically normal. And there's no features suggestive of hyperandrogenism like hirsutism or acne. And for the male partner, again, he is into the normal BMI category, and there's no galacturia or gynecomastia. In the systemic examination, the severe cardiovascular and the respiratory system were clinically normal in both of them. Per abdominal examination, the female, it was a soft abdomen and there was no mass palpable. The external genitalia appears normal. A per speculum examination of the cervix appears to be healthy. A bimanual examination, the uterus appears normal size and there's no tenderness and there's a slight restriction of mobility present. No abnormal discharge and bilateral fornices was free and not tender. And in the male, the per abdomen, it was a soft and no mass palpable. External genitalia, it revealed a varicocele and a testis appeared of grade 2 and the testis appeared normal. And diagnostic pelvic ultrasound was done, and the baseline was carried on day 2 of cycle. The antral follicle count was done, and in the left ovary showed 12, the volume of 8.3 cc, and the right it is 8 for antral follicle count, the volume 6.1. The endometrial thickness is 8 mm as on day 2 with uterus appearing normal. For male, the ultrasound showed a grade 2 varicocele and the testicular volume was normal. The blood investigation is done, and for the day 2 blood investigation in the female, it was done. The AMH showed 6.2, LH 3.3, FSH 2.8, and estradiol is 35, all within the normal range. And the prolactin also 14.8 is normal, and thyroid TSH is 1.03, again normal. And glucose challenge test and CBC both were within the normal limits. And the blood investigation in the female, it was done. The investigation in the male, the first thing was a semen analysis was done. The volume is 3 ml. is normal, and the count is 18 million per ml, which is again normal. The progressive motility is 40%, which is normal. But the normal form is only 2%, as against the 4%. And the fragmentation, DNA fragmentation test is 32%, which is increased. And the diagnosis of Deceratozoospermia was made on the first semen analysis. And his general blood investigations of HbA1c, CBC, and serology were normal. The management part, for the female partner, the ovarian reserve test, keeping in mind, first thing is the age. She's 32 years female. So, and then she gives a history of regular cycles, which tells it's an ovulatory cycle. And an AMH, which is 6.2, which is slightly on the increased side, which is usually, which is little contradicting in this case. And AFC is good. And FSH is also normal, which shows it gives a good response to ovarian stimulation. And again, endometrium, day 2, it is 8 mm. It is, you can't say it's not, it's usually slightly thickened. Maybe her flow might be a little reduced. Have to wait and see for that. Next, and in this case, I would like to do an endometrial study, keeping in mind history of genital tuberculosis. If she has a good trilaminar pattern and a good subendometrial blood flow with endometrial thickness 7 to 13 mm, I'll go ahead for oocyte retrieval, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and frozen embryo transfer. If she continues to have a thin endometrium, or she has an additions, Hashemman grade 3 or 4, I'll explain about the platelet-rich plasma therapy. If it is a failure, explain her regarding surrogacy or adoption. As far as the male partners is concerned, to repeat a semen analysis after 1 month. If it is normal, then we can plan a 3 to 4 cycles of IUI. If again it is a teratozoospermia, you
So
have to
Dr.
plan.
Ambika, you can go back to your slide,
Yes, ma'am.
the previous one. So you have started with management.
Yes, ma'am.
So management, first you will do HRT, assess the endometrial thickness, and then start the oocyte retrieval.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are the challenges you might anticipate in this patient?
Ma'am, with the history suggestive of genital tuberculosis, and her age is 32 years.
That's quite normal to have IVF at that age. Then?
Okay, ma'am. The challenges, I'd expect to have her to have she'll be responding poor to the hormonal stimulation. So
no, you in your own slides it is written that previous scan is showing endometrial thickness of 8 mm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So literally the thin endometrium is ruled out.
Yes, it is ruled out.
So why you want to do an endometrial study again?
Ma'am, because the thing is, ma'am, if you suppose we consider without doing an endometrial study, it is given 8 mm, but ma'am, usually on day 2, we expect to have even thinner endometrium, no, ma'am, 8 mm to be even thinner.
So that was a day 2 scan.
Ma'am, day 2 scan. Yes, that it was given as a day 2 scan.
And hysteroscopy finding is also normal, right?
Hysteroscopy, yes, ma'am, it is a normal. And there was nothing. Yes, ma'am, it was normal.
Hysteroscopy normal, you have seen, okay, it's a day 2, it's a bleeding endometrium, you can't comment. Okay, and TB test, MTB has come negative, but anyways, the patient has already been treated with AKT4.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So she has completed her TB treatment. Endometrium hysteroscopically is normal. Okay, you want to test the endometrium by giving HRT, and then
yes,
you have counsel for oocyte retrieval. So what are the challenges there in stimulation?
Ma'am, she might need a high starting dose of gonadotropin, and might need even the maintenance dose need to be increased. And even the endometrium, as we go to day 8 or day 13, endometrium can be poorly developed.
No, talk about only oocyte retrieval now.
Okay, oocyte retrieval. Ma'am, this ovaries. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this ovary, it was found, it was buried in the adhesions, no, ma'am. So, per se, when you do the monitoring itself, it will be difficult to analyze the blood flow because it will be behind the uterus. And the size also, it will be little difficult to assess, no ma'am, if it is behind the uterus and it is buried in adhesions. And even the uterus retrieval part, we have to the needle has to go behind the uterus, so it has to go between the, it has to move across the uterus to retrieve the oocyte.
Why
So that,
the ovaries are not accessible?
ma'am, it is buried in adhesion. So I don't
Buried
know
in
whether,
adhesions in POD.
yes, ma'am.
So why you have to go transmyometrium for that?
Okay, ma'am. We have if it is back behind the uterus, we have to go like that only, no ma'am.
Mm.
So that is challenging, no ma'am, because it'll the sedate.
So what are precautions you will take?
Precautions. Is it?
For
It'll take
oocyte
up.
retrieval only.
Ma'am, I'll expect a longer duration of oocyte retrieval in this patient. So needs a
Why?
good sedation. Ma'am, it's not as accessible as another patient, no ma'am. So might take a longer time.
Buried in adhesions, adhesiolysis has been done. Go to the next slide. What is your TVS, transvaginal finding? How accessible are the ovaries?
Ma'am, how accessible? There's no difficulty mentioned, ma'am. So it should be accessible, no ma'am.
See, whenever you are doing a baseline scan, especially for the purpose of IVF stimulation,
Okay, ma'am.
accessibility of ovaries is one important thing you have to mention, especially for a patient who was previously diagnosed to have genital TB.
Okay, ma'am.
So that's missing.
Okay, ma'am. So accessibility, what is the position, whether it is in the lateral
Whether
wall
it is
or
in the POD, whether it is lateral, whether
Mhm.
it is behind the uterus.
Okay, ma'am.
So accordingly, you will plan the oocyte retrieval. Accordingly, you will plan the stimulation, oocyte retrievals, and then sedation, bowel preparation, how it has to be given. Because if it is buried in adhesions, definitely there can be bowel coming in your way. So you
Okay,
need
ma'am.
to give appropriate bowel preparation for that, so that you are not going to prick that.
Okay, ma'am.
Then
Ma'am, you can expect a oocyte quality to be low in such genital tuberculosis patient.
yeah, so that you know your management, you have only concentrated on endometrium. If endometrium
Ma'am.
not coming, you will counsel for adoption, surrogacy, PRP. That is what you have mentioned.
Yes,
Basically,
ma'am.
these patients will have very poor oocyte quality, very resistance to stimulation. Zona
Yes.
might be hardened or thick in these kind of patients. So there
Okay,
is a
ma'am.
chance that the embryo quality itself might be poor.
Poor. Okay. Okay, ma'am. So chances of even donor oocyte should also be explained in the counseling part.
No,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
like that. You have to explain about the oocyte quality possibility.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So in spite of doing this, the oocyte quality can also be compromised. That's how it should.
Yes.
And she can expect repeated IVF failure. Okay, ma'am.
Then next slide. So why you have written here plan 3 to 4 cycles IUI? You have done bilateral salpingectomy already.
Okay, ma'am.
Why you have mentioned 3 to 4 cycles IUI?
Yes, ma'am. It was a mistake. So there's no options, no, ma'am. We have to go only for ICSI.
Next.
That's all, ma'am.
So tell me about, you're aware of this one treatment of genital TB, what category, what drugs?
Ma'am, there are ma'am, there are 4 drugs, ma'am. Pyraceminide.
First tell me categories.
Categories. Ma'am, there are only two categories now, ma'am. One is a new and other one is for already treated. So even the failed treatment or the relapse, all that will come under the category 2. Ma'am,
New cases to category 1
Relapse and
relapse and the failure
is in the second category.
is in the second. Yes, ma'am.
So new cases, how is it treated? New cases of what? Pulmonary TB, genital TB?
New cases of pulmonary TB.
How to read? Your case itself is TB.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Ambika. Next, show me your previous slides. Thyroid. Have you evaluated her thyroid?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Clinically, it was normal, and her TSH is also. She's already taking. She's hypothyroid, already on thyroid norm 75, and now the TSH is within the normal range.
Thyroid anti-TPOs you have done?
No, it is not done.
Why? She's already on 75 international units, so I mean 75 microgram of thyroid. Isn't
Okay,
it
ma'am.
necessary to do it? Anti-TPOs you have missed. Then
Ma'am, and then this. Ma'am, is the AMH on the higher side, ma'am? Because I wanted it, even with antral follicle count 8, 12, and 8, this appears to be little like PCO, no, ma'am? This AMH.
maybe see base AFC is 12. She might be still PCO patient only.
Okay, ma'am.
That's fine, but categories of AKT is wrong. The TB treatment is wrong. You have missed out completely there. You have not elaborated her treatment at all. AKT4 she has taken.
For 6 months, ma'am. She's taken for 6 months. New treatment she has taken.
New treatment it is,
Yes.
category 1.
Category 1, where she took the 2 months of HRZD3 and 4 months of HR3.
HR3. And she was declared cured.
Yes, ma'am. The endometrium.
How?
Ma'am, we can do all these. We can do a PCR to know this, ma'am. Any latent tuberculosis.
So in her case, I am asking, what was
in
done?
her case, what was done is endometrium was sent. Endometrium PCR was done, ma'am.
That was during the hysterolaparoscopy, right? During her diagnosis only they had done.
But that time itself, it shows as no MTB, ma'am. But the test of cure is not done again, ma'am.
Usually they don't do it also.
Okay, ma'am. So then if any latent TB, then how will we know, ma'am? Because
that we can repeat and see.
Okay, ma'am.
Usually if they are completed 6 months of treatment in a new case, it is declared cured only.
We need not again check with any PCR.
Because her previous MTP, this one TB PCR is already negative. Or you can take a biopsy, send for an extended culture. AFB culture.
Okay, ma'am.
Because TB PCR might come negative, so you may do that extended AFB culture and see if it comes negative, then there is no need to do anything. And as such, based on her menstrual history, the way endometrium is appearing, hysteroscopy and all, she
Yes,
might
ma'am.
have not affected with uterine TB because the flow of menstruation is normal, endometrial thickness is normal, hysteroscopy also is showing normal findings.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Read about categories. There are 3 categories.
Three, ma'am. But then I saw that presentation, ma'am. It showed
Revised.
the revised RNTCP 2010.
Mm.
It gave only 2 new or
Category 1
treated.
is new, category 2 is relapsed.
Okay, ma'am. The
Category
relapse.
3 is something which is they have lost to follow up.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.